Ed Darragh and singer Niamh Collins, you're both very, very welcome. Congratulations, by the way. A UK Tunebreaker chart at number 1, Niamh, and Ed, you're at number 4.
Niamh, who is at number 1, has come through an extraordinary situation where she's just recovering from throat surgery, which is really phenomenal. It has been a blessing in a way that Niamh has had the luck to have pre-recorded 30 tunes already. There was a very slim chance of Niamh recovering from this surgery. And I think that we're going to get a nod. You find that her voice is a little bit hoarse. Yeah. Do you want to explain to Darragh about the situation as to where you are now?
Okay, well, about 6 months ago, I was headlining the Taste of Dublin Festival, and that's when my voice first went. And that continued for a couple of months. Then luckily I met Ed on a charity gig, and her father is Professor Austin Darragh, and he had a look at my voice and had me admitted into Blackrock Clinic straight away. So I spent a week there, and they looked at my lungs, my tummy. I got CAT scans done on my sinus, extensive blood tests, all that, and it came back that I have a thyroid condition, which has caused a large cyst on my vocal cords. Because I was singing on it as well, it caused severe damage. So up until about 2 weeks ago, I wasn't sure whether I would sing again and I would have problems speaking. But I got the all clear then in Blackrock Clinic there about 2 weeks ago, and they said massive improvement, and I'm in vocal therapy and just training, keep trying to get back singing again now.
And you're number 1 on UK Tunebreaker. Tell me about the Tunebreakers chart. You're number 1, as I said, Ed is at number 4.
Yeah, well, I met Ed, and Ed is kind of looking after. She heard my music and she's kind of looking after it, and she entered myself and herself and a few other acts that are with Writer's Box, and I went in at number 145 and then went up to number 13, and on New Year's Day I got a phone call from Ed saying you're number 1. Couldn't believe it.
Can I conclude that one by saying not only had you gone into number 1, about the 48 hours beforehand, Darragh, she had knocked me off the number 2 slot.
Sorry about that.
Okay. She'd knocked me off the number 2 slot, and then, of course, the following New Year's Day, a couple of days later, went to number 1. The Tunebreaker Award, the inaugural award, Darragh, that's coming very, very soon in March, that will be awarded to the highest selling artist. Now, the Tunebreaker chart, to explain your question there, it's very akin to the MySpace chart, of which I'm actually number 1 in the MySpace chart at the moment, in the Irish leg of it. There is one distinct difference, Darragh, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this from an artist's point of view. MySpace do not pay out any money whatsoever to any artists. In the Tunebreaker chart, as we chart, we are charting because people are buying our downloads and therefore awarding us votes, and that's how we're moving up and down the chart. We're currently today, on the 19th, sitting here, 20 past 12 on your show. In less than 12 hours from now, the phase 1 of the chart, Darragh, will close, and we will all go back to scratch. And at noon tomorrow, it will be announced officially, online and across the globe, who are the top 100 that have been selected out of the UK Tunebreaker Award chart to go forward into the final phase. The chart will then reopen again in about 2 weeks on the 2nd of February, because there's a panel that's going to do a critique on all of us, Darragh, that have got this far. And the selection then will be down to the top 50, and the top 50 will be announced on the 2nd of February, and the chart opens again for one more month, where we're still going to be asking people and pleading for votes and for people to download our records, download our tunes from the chart.
Ed, how big of a deal is it to be number 1 on UK Tunebreaker?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, obviously it stands for itself to be in any of the top 10 or top 20, even the top 100 today as it stands. It's, fantastic.
Is it as prestigious as the old charts of long ago? You know, back in the 70s and the 60s, you were at number 1. Even if you got into number 27,
No, but I think, Darragh, I mean, to put no finer point on it, record sales means cash. means that there's a business going on. If you're not selling records, you have no business. And may I say on behalf of living here in Meath and being a Meath girl, as is Niamh.
From Dunshaughlin?
From Dunshaughlin, and I'm from Tara. And the point is that our business is generic to here. The fact that we're selling records across the globe, it is international people that are buying our records as well as local. And we have a local paparazzi in here taking our photographs today, Mzuna Williams, who's not on mic. We're all local business, if you like, and we want to start generating jobs back in the music industry. We're about job creation. That's where I'm coming from as a producer. And so to be anywhere significant in the chart is a huge deal because we're selling records. We're actually in a position of making money. And so for the Tunebreaker scenario, the bottom line is the top selling download artist by the 3rd of March, Darragh, would pick up a cheque on the 5th for £10,000. The Mercury Award in the UK is 20,000. This Tunebreaker Award is 10,000. I think that's pretty significant.
Well, I want to talk a bit more about Niamh. You performed at, was it Monday's wedding, was it?
That's right, yeah. I've performed in Saudi Arabia. I've performed all around Ireland. I've played at Oxygen. I've sang with Rod Stewart, Enrique Iglesias, loads of people.
And what's this about Paul McCartney's? Did you some involvement with Paul McCartney?
No, that's John Fraser produced one of my tracks.
Right.
Two of my tracks. Actually, a track I wrote for my late brother Paul the night I got the information that he had passed over. 7 White Horses. John Fraser, he produced Paul McCartney's Eche Cormiam, and he saw me perform in a venue. I'm only back from the UK not that long, and he picked up on me and we went into studio and he produced me singing the Nelson Riddle Orchestra arrangement of Night and Day. That's also on my MySpace.
Was it Monday that described you, Niamh, as Janis Joplin, the Irish Janis Joplin?
That's right, yeah. Yeah. I'd like to think that, well, like Headbox would be like...
that's your band?
Yeah, it'd be a female James Brown kind of vibe, retro soul, overdance kind of music, yeah.
And the future, what's the future now with this UK Tunebreakers?
The future is winning it on the 5th of March and picking up the cheque for £10,000.
It's kind of significant, the panel that are involved that will be critique.
Who will be
okay, I'll tell you who we have now. There's Aoife Woodlock, who'd be well recognised for Other Voices, the Other Voices series on RTE, and the Jack Daniels set. And then from the UK, you've got Paul Kinder, who's the MD with Cooking Vinyl. That's the publishing company. Massive. I mean, the industry people looking in on the chart at the moment are phenomenal. The other gentleman on the panel there is Paul Kramer, and he's Hit Sheet. And
did you remember a band called The Sweat?
I do indeed.
They were a brilliant band.
Yes, they were phenomenal.
And they had a song called "Why Did You Have to Lie," which I thought was one of the best songs from the punk era.
You're a great man of diversion, aren't you?
But I like it.
The third panel, the fourth panelist that is most important here, Darragh, is Dylan Haskins. Are you familiar with Dylan Haskins?
You're going to tell me.
Well, you should be familiar with him, well, not necessarily. This is a young dynamo, and I haven't really, I've never actually met him, but he's about 23 years of age, but RTE2 have picked up on him. He has set up all sorts of things. He had a venue in his own house, and I think on the last gig that he's done these gigs in his home. He's gone on to be huge, by the way. But this is the tale that I'm told. And on the last gig that was actually held in his home, 200 people showed up for it. Now, he's been picked up by everybody. He's a real go-getter. He's going to be very significant. You're a technophobe, aren't you? You're not really a techie guy, are you?
No, I'm not really a techie guy.
I could tell by you.
Oh, we'll put it to the test, right? Okay, who is listening to LMFM in the big, wonderful world of Earth? Text us now. Or can you text? No, email lmfm.ie and it'll pop up there. We'll see if we have somebody listening out there in Siberia or something.
So we're doing it. If there's absolutely anybody at all on lmfm.ie listening at the moment.
I know there are listeners in Australia, and I know there's a couple down in someplace in Argentina because they're from the region. So it's a great way of keeping in contact with the locality.
Well, it is, and it's the global thing, which is back to tunebreaker.com as well. Yeah. it's the global community that are buying the downloads. It's not just happening in a local pocket. It's not just
Why did you ever leave the radio? Or because you were good on radio, you were on television as well. Why did you ever leave the radio?
Yeah, absolute passion for the music. Absolute passion, my dear, for the music industry.
You could have gone on to be big, girl.
Oh well,
you could have been the female Jerry Ryan of your day.
Hold that space. So to put it back on track, we did meet where I first saw this young lady. Why I left television and saw this young lady are both the same thing. When I came back from the UK and we played on the same bill, on the same venue, I saw this girl during the summer and I could not believe that Niamh Collins wasn't being played off the air, which is a real thing for me now here, Darragh. I get furious because I was a former DJ myself and producer. I get furious. I asked her, who's playing you on air?
I know what you're going to say.
Exactly.
I know.
Right?
And you see, because the reason for that is because this industry, like the music industry, is run by people who like to pigeonhole everything. And of course, Niamh is new, therefore she will not get the airplay that an established star
that
will.
has now
How does one become an established star? From people like you and me playing her.
Well, no, yes, but no, now I'm on this side of the fence. I have to hold the phone there now.
Do you?
Back that truck up the yard.
All right, back it up
Because
then.
now that I have come from your side of the microphone to this side of the microphone, and I come across a thing called Tunebreaker.com, just perusing around the web, it's the best blessing and button I have ever pressed. We're actually getting paid for our downloads, not in MySpace. They're sharing it out there, music left, right and centre. We don't see a red cent. Advertising going on everywhere. They'll probably pull my account now in the next 3 minutes, and when I get home I won't have a MySpace account and it'll be good enough. But that's the point. I have come from radio and television and I'm out here and I'm fighting the cause for the marginalised artist, which is exactly what John Toon behind Tunebreaker, he says right hand man of Richard Branson for years. He worked and operated Virgin Records. He worked and operated A&M Records. He is totally on the side of the marginalised artist, and he's over there in the UK and he's loving the energy that's coming out of Meath for a start, because in the top 10 we've got 4 artists and 3 of them are from County Meath. Up Meath, I say. We want your votes. Go to www.tunebreaker.com. Tomorrow at noon is fairly significant, Darragh, because we're going to find out whether we moved from phase 1, which we've all been and all established ourselves. Tomorrow at noon, the top 100 will be announced to the world. And then the judges, the panel we've just mentioned there, will do a critique on all of us. And they will tell us next 2nd of February whether we've made the top 50 for when the chart opens
Will you
again.
come back and tell us that?
I will.
You will. And the future for yourself, you're together now, what, it'll be a year? What, are you two going to sort of mingle your careers together?
No, and not separately or alternatively. Otherwise, the cooperative I set up here in Meath is Writer's Box, and I'm out there finding talent, and I'm pushing the best.
What's this organisation you set up?
Writer's Box.
Didn't hear about this.
Yeah, well, it's there in your brief. You didn't read it. What's the point of handing you your brief, Darragh, if you don't read it?
Out to me. Go on. What's this writer's box?
The Writer's Box.
Writer's Box. I got writer's block about
the
Writer's
security
Box.
are coming through the doors here now. They're pulling me plug on MySpace, and security are coming in here to drag me off the Darragh Nelson programme. Darragh, you're great. No, Writer's Box Cooperative is for writers. It's for finding new talent and pushing it forward. And for us that set up this cooperative, we're just a bunch of writers, a bunch of artists, and we just are bypassing mainstream radio. We don't care whether we get played or not now on radio. It doesn't matter, because we're selling our records on tunebreaker.com. And after the awards on the 5th, where the £10,000 cheque will be handed out to me, or Niamh, or Anne Harrington, Harry the Maniacs, the point is, Tunebreaker, I know, will be going absolutely into the hemisphere. They will knock MySpace off the platform. MySpace have blown it. If they had started paying their artists in any way, even 10 cent would have worked.
Tunebreaker on Facebook. Thank you very much indeed.
And Twitter.
And Twitter. And I didn't get around to playing Ticket to Ride by the Carpenters, but I know that you like it, Ed.
I do, absolutely. And Una Williams Photography on Facebook.
Una Williams and Karen Carpenter. Thank you very, very much indeed, ladies.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, fantastic work with the Tunebreaker charts. Great to see Meath women right up there. Well done to Ed Darragh and Niamh Collins coming in from Trish Armstrong in Dundee.